Hello everyone, today's video is going to be about a paper that I wrote for my English class in college. So the paper is on an article titled "The Case for Eating Butter Just Got Stronger" in Time magazine by Alexandra Sifferlin. Now this article focused on a big study that was done on over 600,000 people that meta-analyzed 9 studies. And this does sound like a very good setup. And what this study did was they compared saturated fat and butter intake versus cardiovascular disease risk. And what they found is that there is no strong association between saturated fat or butter intake and cardiovascular risk. And the author of the study, Dr. Mozaffarian, stated that butter is likely a neutral food as well as saturated fat, a neutral nutrient, and that we should focus on healthy and unhealthy foods rather than just healthy and unhealthy nutrients. So what should we make of this gigantic study showing no significant association between saturated fat and butter intake on one's cardiovascular disease risk? Does that mean that eating lots of saturated fat and butter doesn't increase one's risk of atherosclerotic heart disease? The problem does not lie in the study itself. The problem, however, lies in the conclusions and interpretations drawn by people like Dr. Mozaffarian and author Alexandra Sifferlin. Correlational cohort studies, like the ones used in this meta-analysis, do not have the statistical power to determine a cause and effect relationship. They can show a relationship, but because of confounding variables, they can't show if one change in one variable is caused by the change in another. They can show interesting results, but they can't show a cause and effect relationship between two things like saturated fat and butter intake on one's serum cholesterol levels and heart disease risk. Contrary to what Dr. Mozaffarian and author Alexandra Sifferlin are trying to push, saturated fat does increase one's risk for heart disease by increasing one's serum cholesterol levels. And rather than using correlational or cohort studies to show this relationship, big interventional metabolic ward studies that do have the power to show a cause and effect relationship were used to identify this relationship between saturated fat and heart disease risk. Big interventional studies, such as those found in the British Medical Journal and American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, which I will link below, show that saturated fat and butter intake does indeed increase one's risk for heart disease by increasing your cholesterol levels. An equation can be made from this prediction because it's so accurate and so well established. It's called the Hague equation. Based on how much saturated fat and cholesterol you eat, they can determine how much your serum cholesterol will increase. That's how well determined and established this relationship is. And this is why organizations such as Harvard University, the World Health Organization, American College of Cardiology, and the American Heart Association all recommend decreasing saturated fat intake to protect one's heart, because they know that saturated fat intake causes an increase in cholesterol levels, which increases your risk for heart disease. So are you going to trust Harvard, World Health Organization, American College of Cardiology, and the American Heart Association, or some author from Time magazine that their claims can easily be proven by simple statistics as well as looking at other research in the field? I think that is pretty clear. What about the no significant association between saturated fat and butter intake on one's heart disease risk? Well, the answer lies in confounding variables, such as the natural variability of cholesterol levels between individuals. This confounding variable can cause a zero correlation between saturated fat and butter intake on heart disease risk, while there is still a cause and effect relationship between saturated fat intake and serum cholesterol levels and heart disease risk. So there you have it, guys. Just because there's no correlation between two variables doesn't mean that one doesn't cause the other, whereas saturated fat is proven to cause an increase in cholesterol levels, which increases your risk for heart disease. Thank you all for watching this video, and I will include many references in the description, and I will talk to you guys next time. Peace out.